What up, folks? It's your pal, Coach Vino, and this is the Glass Half Full podcast where we turn setbacks into comebacks. Let's go.
Yo, everybody goes through setbacks, but don't let these setbacks make you take a step back. Setbacks from the situation, put your brush down, envision the picture you're faith in, because everybody goes through setbacks.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast. It's your pal, Coach Vino, the people's bartender, and your certified coach from the Boogie Down Bronx. So I hope everybody's doing well today. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I want to share you guys another quote from James Allen this time. And it goes, a man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all of his thoughts. And, the reason I'm sharing this with you guys today is because, we have a tendency to blame the walls that we build in front of us. We create these walls that really keep us from being everything we can be. We say we can't do that because we don't have time. We say we can't do this because we're too old. We say we can't do that because we don't have money. We say we can't do this because, nobody showed me how. And some of these things, they might be real. I understand that. I'm not here to pretend like life doesn't come with its own set of obstacles, because it does. I know for a fact. I grew up with more obstacles than I could possibly count. And some people they start further back than other people. Some people have few resources. Look, I'm a poor ass Puerto Rican kid from the South Bronx. And some people have been through things that would knock the world and the wind right out of somebody else. But today I want to talk to you about one of the hardest truths that we all have to accept, no matter what our circumstances are. A lot of time, the biggest limit in your life is not the circumstances upon which were laid onto you. Okay? It's not about what's outside of you. It's what's inside of you. It's the belief that you can't be more because you weren't born with more, or because you don't have more. That you can't do something before you even try. It's the voice in your head that says, who do you think you are, pal? That negative voice in your head that says, no, you don't even bother. It's a story that you keep repeating until it starts to sound like a fact. And let me tell you something, that's dangerous, because once you believe these limitations, you start living within these limitations. Okay, you're not going to apply for a job. You're not going to start that business. You're not going to go back to the gym. You're not going to have that conversation that you need to have. Maybe you're not going to attend to that class. You're not going to make the changes. And not because it's impossible, but because somewhere along the line, you convinced yourself that it wasn't for you. And look, I get it. I'm not like, Mr. Gun-Ho here. Trying is scary. Trying means that you might fail, and nobody likes to fail. Trying means that people might see you struggling. Trying means that, you can't hide behind excuses anymore. Because once you actually give something an effort, your best effort, hopefully, you're going to find out the truth. Maybe you're better than you thought. Maybe you need more work than you thought. But either way, at least you know. And that is where the growth starts. See, the limits inside you, they love to be comfortable. They love routine. They love, the familiar. Even when things that are familiar or routine or comfortable are the things that are actually making you miserable. But that little voice in you, the voice from early on, is someone that says, stay right here. Don't risk it. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't start over. Don't dream too big. What's the point? You're good. You're set. But on the other shoulder is your future, and it's sitting on the bench there going, come on, man, put me in. Put me in, coach. We got work to do. And no, believe in yourself doesn't mean that, if I believe in myself that everything's gonna happen instantaneous, right? Coach Vino said, "Go for it, hoop la rah, whatever," and it's gonna happen. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not a magic. You still have to show up. You have to learn. You have to make mistakes. You have to adjust. You're gonna take some bumps. You got to keep moving though. But believing in yourself, believing that you could do something, is what gets you in the game. Otherwise, you're just on the bench. Without belief, you quit before life even gives you a chance to find out what you're capable of. So ask yourself, what have you been calling impossible that's really just uncomfortable? Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding because I'm afraid of looking like a beginner? What have I accepted in my life that's smaller than I deserve? But I do it because it makes me feel safer than chasing something that I really want. And those are not easy questions to answer, but they're necessary, because your comfort zone can become a little prison, a beautiful little prison, if you're not careful. It'll have snacks, it'll have a couch, it'll have a Nintendo Switch, and it's going to have problems that you're familiar with, that you're comfortable with, and all those excuses that you use every day. And you're going to call that peace. You're going to call it a peace of mind. Oh, I'm at peace. But deep down, it's not peace. It's not. It's just fear dressed up in lipstick and fake eyelashes. It looks good. It ain't good. So today, I'm not asking you to change your whole life overnight. I'm asking you to become some part of yourself that you're afraid to tap into. Okay? And I'm not talking about, taking off your suit and you have a superhero cape under that. I'm asking you to just challenge one limit that you've imposed on yourself. Just one. Okay? Maybe you make a phone call that you've been meaning to make. Just one little thing. Look, if you're looking to lose weight, take a walk. Just take a walk, a little walk. Maybe walk your dog a little longer than usual. Take a walk with your kid. Or put on your headphones, go for a walk. If you're looking for jobs or you want to change your job, just put the applications in. See what happens. What happens? Worst that happens is nobody responds. The best thing that happens is somebody does. Maybe you just need to have a conversation with somebody, with your wife, your friend, your boss. Just go for it and be honest. Do one thing that proves to you that the old story that you've been telling yourself doesn't get to run the whole show anymore. Because once you break one limit, you break down a little piece of that wall that you set up for yourself, you're going to start wondering, what else can I do? What else was I wrong about? And let me tell you something. Once you crack that wall open and that little bit of light gets through, that's when life just opens up. Your only limit is you. Okay? There are no obstacles. It means that you need to stop being one of the limits. It means you stop helping fear build the wall. It means you stop taking yourself out of everything that you want before you even try. So this week, I want you to pay attention to the way you talk to yourself, the things that you tell yourself. Whenever you hear yourself say, I can't, I want you to just pause for a second and then ask yourself a question. Is this true? Or is this just me bullshitting myself, trying to sound intelligent, but it's just fear? Because sometimes the door isn't actually locked. It's not. Just knock on that door, okay? Or you might be holding the key, okay? Sometimes you just been standing in front of the door the whole time, holding the key, and telling yourself that you're not allowed in. Imagine that. But today that changes. You got this. Well, that's all I got for you folks. If you enjoyed today's podcast, I'd appreciate if you left a review so you can help Coach Vino feed the hungry algorithm. If you or someone you know might want to work with Coach Vino, you can visit my website, coachvinollc.com. You can also follow the podcast on social media where I share more of my thoughts in bite sizes, and it gives me an opportunity to directly interact with you guys, which is always fun. So I'm everywhere at Coach Vino Podcast. And remember, folks, if nobody else tells you, Coach Vino appreciates you. Cheers.
At times I find it hard to reveal these thoughts and express what I'm feeling in a hip-hop form. But I was born to succeed, so as long as I breathe, ain't nobody on this earth gonna crush my dreams. Yo, this might be the end of the verse, but this is just the start of a new beginning.